In terms of blogging against people in the same, okay, we both acknowledge we're Christians, we acknowledge we're like-minded in most ways, we're going to do some back and forth. I think there's a place for that, but you got to be very, very careful, because there's lots of young Christians who read that, and honestly a lot of young men who read that. It's mostly young men who are interested in reading those theological disputations, and I think you can I think you have to model disagreeing in love, which means you're commending one another, you're having a relationship with one another, and you're believing the best about one another. If there's any trait, 1 Corinthians 13, all about love, right? How to love one another, that whole section, believe the best about one another. Believe that I'm not going to assume bad motives of you, I'm going to assume good motives of you. I think that has really gone missing in blogs. And so what happens is people are just kind of swinging at each other and not really hoping all things, believing all things about one another. So if we can have disputes and it's really done in that way of thinking, I think that can be quite helpful. How it usually happens, though, is thinking the worst of other people and not really listening to them, but assuming things about them. And that's where I think you can get into some pretty negative arguments. And then it tends to be, again, young men who get into that. And they, by definition, lack the wisdom and lack the grace that would help them do it well. So I think there is a place for that kind of sort of internal apologetics or something. But I would be pretty careful. And I would say as a blogger, at least 9 out of every 10 articles you write should be positive. I'm just modeling how to live the Christian life. I'm talking about good things. That means it's all the more powerful when you write a post that's against something, or write a post that's saying, this is wrong, this is dead wrong. I think it stands out all the more. If you're only ever writing negative stuff, people, I think, just assume you're a negative person. But if you're a positive, you're just helping people, you're assisting people, and then one day, bam, I think people really sit up and listen a whole lot more.